Okay. Let's see if it's working. I think so. It's working, Pelvis. Okay. Hey guys. Just making sure that everything looks good. Hi Melody, good to see you. And make sure to say hello in the chat below if you see it. There's usually a live chat feature and you can say hi. If there's any certain poses you might be feeling you'd like to move into today, you can also comment that and we'll see if I can squeeze it in. I'll wait one more minute. I'm gonna post this. Where is it? The pre-work. How's everybody going today? Week 6. Stay at home, yeah. Okay. And live. Post. Okay. Melody loves the hips, me too. That's why you love me. Who doesn't love a good lizard lunge? Hi, B. All right, hips, shoulders, neck. Anything else? Anything else? Just let me know. Okay, well, welcome. Hi, everybody. So, it's been a week. It's been a week. It's been a few weeks. There's just been some weird, I don't know what the universe is trying to tell me, but there's already like enough going on with our health scares, with keeping everybody safe, the economic and loneliness parts that are affecting different people in different ways, and we all have our own stories, right? You know, every single one of us has a story of how COVID has affected us either directly or indirectly, and my family is being hit very indirectly, but the pain is still the pain. And then today, it's just like, you know, all these little things start happening, and I ended up wanting to vacuum the floor because I try to make my space clean before. If I flip the camera around, it would look a little different than what you see. And when I was taking the vacuum out of the closet, my steam mop is in there as well, right? And it just fell down and shattered, like hundreds of pieces. My steam mop apparently was just made of plastic. And this is after, like, the day before we left our our portable speaker outside, and it got soaking wet in the sprinklers. And then the day before, one of the girls knocked over a glass bowl in my kitchen, and it's just like, ay, right? Like, really? There has to be extra on top of all that we're already doing right now? And it's just, and you know how it is right now. Like, we're trying to be careful with our money, because we're not making the same type of money that we were a month ago, and who knows what the future of that looks like as well. So it's all these different things that weave into your story. And so I am interested in your stories, and I don't really have time for it in this like 1 hour format, but in one of my other classes on my YouTube page at Leslie Germain Yoga, I will do a class where we sit down and we journal for a portion of it and just talk about our stories, you know? So maybe after this class, once you're feeling nice and rested, you write down, like, where are you right now? For your own, like, history book. Like, what's going on, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, and, like, all the warriors that we've had to become, you know, for this daily barrage of new experiences. And, yeah, so I'd love to hear your stories, though, if you want to share with me. Message me, comment, let me know. Because I do like us to feel that we're in this community together, you know, that it's not just you struggling, it's not just your mom struggling, it's all of us. We're all in this together. Yeah. Okay? So let's close our eyes. And go inside. So if you'd like, remain in a seated position, or if you're laying down on your mat, that's perfectly fine as well. But I want you to become in tune with your breath. If you're able to feel your breath, if you're able to feel the sensations as the inhale moves in, expanding the body, and as the exhale travels slowly out. Soften your face here. Soften the shoulders and the neck. And maybe take a moment with your eyes closed, asking yourself, what's my story? Am I my story? Is this just a temporary thing? Or is this chapter one that can help reinvent my story? It's where we're going from part one to part two. Are we at the beginning of part two? Or the end of part one? Keep allowing your breath to move in and out naturally, not forcing the inhale, not forcing the exhale. And if you're kind of sick of this story, join me in a few audible exhales as we inhale through the nose. And a loud sigh through the mouth. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale. Last one. Take your deepest inhale. Sip in a little more air at the top. And your loudest exhale. Notice with that just few deep breaths how it might have changed the feeling in your body. Maybe your face feels a little softer. Maybe there's a little tingling. Go in that space. And then bringing your hands together, heart center. If you'd like to join us in one Om, feel free. If that feels too strange because you're in a house surrounded by people who just don't get it, you can do it inner Om. Exhale everything out. Believe me, my husband's one of those people. Inhale. When you're ready, open your eyes. Nice to see you. So since we had a little bit of neck and shoulder requests, since many of you might be working on your computer way more than usual, and you might not be taking as many breaks, or the breaks might not be as substantial because you're not chit-chatting with a friend, you're just walking to get some food out of the fridge and then come back to the computer. Let's do a little bit to open up our neck and shoulders here, okay? So we'll start by bringing your hands to, let's try the back of the head. And then inhale as you look up, allowing your head to rest heavily into the palms of your hands. So my hands are interlaced behind my head like that in case you're not sure what to do there. And really pull your elbows away from each other, pushing your sternum up. There might be a little bend in the back. Don't worry too much about that. And then exhale as you start to draw your elbows together and tuck your neck to your chest. Or your chin to your chest, sorry. So we're gonna try to get the curve through the top spine here versus the other parts of the back. So try to keep the movement really in the upper spine. And then inhale as you start to look back up, head resting in the hands, elbows pull far, far away. The more you can peel the elbows away from each other, the more you'll feel this in your shoulders. And then exhale, chin to chest, elbows squeeze in. Take one full breath there. Notice the inhale versus the exhale. And beautiful, one more time, inhale, opening, creating more space wherever you can. Exhale, curve the top spine. A slight tug of the head down if that feels okay in the neck. And then inhale, coming up, walking our hands out to the sides. Let's have our right hand out to the side. We might be mirroring each other, so don't worry if you end up doing opposite sides than me, but my right hand is out. And then take your chin and look over the left shoulder. Now, if you don't feel this at all, walk the right hands just a little bit further away. Maybe you look a little bit more over the left shoulder. And now taking your ear to the left shoulder. So we had our chin reaching, now we're going to take the ear over. And you'll feel a deep stretch along the right side of the neck. And then simply start to draw lines with your nose, little L's, up and down. And there might be one area in particular that feels really, really good. Maybe you're tucking the chin into your chest or you're looking up slightly. Stay there for a little bit longer, wherever that area is for you. You know, it might be more near towards the back of the ear. Sometimes you can feel it there. It could be along the traps, even all the way down towards the head of the shoulder, especially if you walk those fingertips really, really far away from you. And then walk the hand in as you do slow neck rolls here. We're going to start a little slow today. Don't worry, we'll do some cardio in there. Build up a little heat. Okay, let's switch sides. This time left hand reaches out. Right hand can stay on your lap or to the side, it's up to you. And then take the chin, looking over your right shoulder. Once again, you can walk those left fingertips a little further away from you and gaze a little bit more to your right. It's like you're almost looking behind you, as soft as you can. And then tilting the chin so you can get your ear closer to your shoulder versus your chin. Notice if you're drawing your shoulders up, see if you can relax the shoulders away from the ears. And then draw your L's slowly up and down with your nose. And remember, if you can, how you did your neck rolls last time, whether you went down and up first or up and down, try to go in the opposite direction, counterclockwise versus clockwise. And if you don't remember, that's fine. Start making your little neck rolls here, bringing both hands to your knees. Not rushing it, creating space with each movement. Okay, beautiful. We're going to find our way up onto our feet, standing nice and tall. And have your feet a little bit more than hip distance apart. We're going to move into the shoulders here. So taking your right hand to your upper left chest, and we're going to do big shoulder rolls. So the way that my arm is moving is I'm going forward, up, and back. And the reason I'm cueing you in that direction versus the other is it's a little bit more safer with the mobility of range that can be in your rotator cuffs, and we can go both directions, but I want you to feel this way first. So we go forward, up, back, forward, up, back, and try to keep the movement in the shoulders. You can start slow just to see how to get the arm moving, and then build up a little bit of speed here. We don't want to be helicopters, right? But we do want to find some movement. And allow your arm to move as free as you can, freeing up the shoulder. You might hear a little snapping and cracking I do, because this shoulder is my problem shoulder. And then try reversing direction. So if you reverse direction and it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Go back to the other way. Okay? All right, shake that out. Take a moment, closing eyes in between sides, just to notice how that left side feels versus the right. Does it feel looser? Does it feel softer? Does it feel like there's a little more heat in there? Okay, now we're going to try on the other side. Left arm reaches up, forward and back. Forward, up and back if we want to go in the correct big ways. Okay? I like to have my left hand on my chest, just so I can keep the movement more in my shoulder and not like I'm twisting my chest here. And your legs can have a soft bend in the knee. We don't want to lock out any joints if we can. And your movement can speed up. It looks funny when, is it blurry? Or is it just because of how fast I'm moving and it just doesn't know how to take it? All right, and then reverse direction. And then pause and feel, bringing your feet together, heels slightly apart, arms down by your sides. Closing your eyes. Pause and feel. Am I super blurry on everybody's screen? I don't know if somebody can comment. It looks super blurry on my computer, so I'm just gonna try that really quick. Sorry. This is the fun part about going live, is I'm not in any control over the tech. All right, so let's start at the front of our mat. Toes touched, heels slightly apart. Inhale, sweeping your arms up, palms touch. Exhale, soften the knees, forward fold. Inhale, hands move up to the shins, flat back. Exhale, soften the knees, forward fold. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, hands to shins. Reach the crown of the head forward, the tailbone back, and squeeze those outer hips in towards each other for strong legs. Exhale as you soften the knees, but keeping that outer hip squeezing in, forward fold. Feel free to let your head hang heavy here. Maybe you grab onto your elbows and pull your arms down a little bit closer to the ground. Whatever feels good for you right here, right now. And we'll be here for 3 more breaths. Exhale as you release your hands down to the ground. Step the right foot back and then the left, holding here, high plank. And so you can hold here in your stationary plank or bring your knees down to the ground at any time if you need to. And we're going to do a little bit of mounting climbing here as we take our right knee over to the right elbow. And then bring the right foot back. The left knee, the left elbow. And then bring it back. And continuing that movement at your own pace. Maybe you do a few of them and your body says, you know what, I need a child's pose right now. Or maybe you want to increase the speed, like you're running up a mountain or running down a mountain, if that sounds like a little more fun. And we'll be here for about 5, 4, keep the hips low, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Exhale, knees go wide, toes together, child's pose. Lifting the hips up high, tucking your toes, walking your hands out in front of you for puppy. Forehead comes down to the ground. And for this particular puppy pose, see if you can push your heart down to the ground. Finding more space in the armpits, that upper chest area. If that feels too tight for you, you can walk your hands out a little bit wider. And if it feels really nice, perhaps you shift your gaze forward so your chin is resting on the ground. Beautiful. Walking your hands back in again. Tabletop position. We'll do a little bit more shoulder work here. As we draw our left arm in, hips go back. Left arm goes up and over. So we're gonna go in the other direction, right, than we were doing on the ground. So maybe move a little bit slower. As your arm moves back, up and forward. We'll do one more in that direction. And then we're gonna reverse directions. Now we're going forward, up, and back. And feel free to allow the movement to go a little bit more than just up and down. If you want to add a little bit of more Y horizontal movement, you can. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, sending your left arm up high. Exhale, threading it through and resting on the left temple. So you're in tabletop position. That left arm reaches through the right. Head comes down to the ground. Maybe your right fingertips reach towards the front of your mat and you twist here. If you'd like to go a little deeper, maybe that right hand reaches up and around for a bind. And if you're going for the bind, twist that right shoulder head up off the ground a little bit more. One more breath. Exhale. Right hand comes down to the ground. As you inhale, send the left arm up high. Exhale, left arm lowers. Pivot that right foot so it's angling out slightly. As you reach the left leg long for supported side plank. Top arm reaches up overhead. So notice that that left foot is pushing down into the ground. Sometimes we roll onto the big toe side of our foot, but see if you can really take the whole sole of the foot down here for more ankle mobility. And then you can stay here with that right knee pressing down into the ground, or lift the right knee off the ground and let it hover. And then maybe it comes back down if you need to take a break. Otherwise, hold here and extend the leg out long for 3, and 2, and 1. Exhale, awesome. Right knee comes down to the ground. Keep that foot pivoting back as you lean your weight into your right hand. Left foot reaches up. Quarter moon pose. It's a play on half moon pose. And we're gonna play a little bit here. If you're feeling nice and stable, now that we have our whole knee down on the ground, what happens if you close your eyes? Find that inner gaze, that inner drishti. And if you fall, ground's not too far away. Find your way back in. We're going to be here for 5 more breaths, playing with our eyes closed and finding stability and ease. One more breath. Awesome. Exhale, hand and foot come back down to the ground, shifting yourself back into high plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. All the way down to the ground. Inhale, cobra. Peeling your chest off the ground as you exhale, lower. Doing that 2 more times. Push your 10 toes down to the ground. Inhale, rise, strong legs. Maybe your hands lift. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. If you want to go a little bit higher, walk your hands in a little bit closer to your belly button. Push slightly, but keep a soft bend in your elbows. And those elbow eyes are trying to draw themselves so they're looking forward. One more breath. Exhale, tuck the toes, seat back to heels, lift the hips, downward facing dog. We'll be here for 5 breaths. Bending your knees to lift your hips up a little bit higher, maybe cycling your legs out here. And you can choose whether to keep your eyes open or closed for this downward facing dog. Wherever you are, keep a constant gaze. One more inhale. And exhale, lowering back down to your knees. Tabletop position. And this time we're going to do the right side. Right hand draws back, up, and over. And doing these nice big shoulder circles, allowing your hips to help you move forward and backwards. And whenever you're ready, reverse directions, switching, going forward, up, and back. Last one. Inhale, sending your right arm up high. Exhale, threading it through, resting on that right shoulder. If you'd like, left fingertips can come towards the front of your mat. Otherwise, keep them right there in front of your face. Feel that out as you create more space with your inhale. Maybe that left arm reaches, the thumb starts to point back for a bind. Beautiful, one more breath. Lifting that left shoulder off the ground a little bit higher. Exhale. Left hand comes back down, lift the right arm up for an inhale. And then exhale, as you take your right hand down to the ground, we're gonna pivot that left foot so it's a little bit off the mat now. Right foot reaches for the back of the mat for that supported side plank. Inhale as your arm lifts, and then exhale, bring it up overhead, palm facing down. So once again, you can choose to stay here, working on finding stability in that right foot. Or if you want to do a little bit of more core work, see what happens when you lift the knee off the ground and point it out to the right side of your mat. And you can stay here or maybe kick that leg out long for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, bring the knee down if you chose to lift it. Keep that back foot off the mat, leaning your weight forward into the left palm for that right leg to reach up into your quarter moon pose. And once again, we want to close our eyes here once we're feeling nice and stable. Notice if you have shoulder over shoulder here. And then whenever you close your eyes, we'll be here for 5, 4. Keep drawing the belly into the spine. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Exhale, right hand comes down to the ground, tucking both feet, lifting the knees, high plank pose. Inhaling here. Exhale, right forearm down to the ground, left forearm down to the ground. Right hand comes up, left hand comes up, high plank. So we're going from forearm plank, left forearm, right forearm, left hand, right hand. Back to plank again. Forearm plank to plank, forearm, and plank. One more round. Right side first. Trying to keep our body hips facing down, left side. Beautiful. Exhale, child's pose. This time reach your arms behind your back. Maybe interlace your hands and allow your arms to reach up and away. If that doesn't feel okay, let go of the hands and allow your hands to just rest on the ground. Closing your eyes here. Taking an inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Do that 2 more times. Inhale. Relax the face. Walking your hands back forward again as you tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, send that right leg up high, keeping the hips square. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale as you kick it back out. Exhale, knee to nose. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, leg lifts up a little higher. Maybe the left heel reaches up. And exhale, keep your hips lifted high as you draw your knee as close to your face as possible. And then whenever you get the knee as close as you can, just flick the foot to bring it as close as you can in between your hands. Dropping that back knee down as you inhale, come into a low lunge, chest reaching forward. Exhale, tuck the toes as you slowly begin to straighten that front leg. Fold forward. Now there might be a big bend in that knee right now. That's okay. We're going to slowly move back and forth. On the inhale, low lunge. Exhale, straightening both legs into your forward fold. We'll do 4 more on your own breath. Maybe playing with the last few with your eyes closed, letting your body guide you. Noticing how it feels different when you close your eyes. Can and you go inside more. Last one, coming down into your low lunge. And then finally into your straight-legged forward fold. And then pivoting, lifting that left foot off the ground, bringing it halfway a little bit closer, setting up for pyramid pose as we inhale, rise. And so I'm going to give you options here for this pyramid, just so you can work on your shoulders and core and legs at the same time. This is one of those poses that works pretty much the whole body if you want it to. And it can also work only parts of the body if you want it to. So just ask yourself what you need right now and go there. If you need more of a restorative version, I'll give you that. Whereas if you need more of a powerful version, I'll give you that. So there are different ways that we can play with holding onto our arms. Oftentimes, we'll hear reverse prayer, okay? So when we hear reverse prayer though, what happens is you'll notice that the shoulders hunch forward, right? And how is that helping us at all with our shoulders? It's not. So another way to do that is to grab on to opposite elbows. And if you're hunching your shoulders forward, peel them away from each other. And another way that I really have enjoyed lately, more than reverse prayer actually for my body, is I take my hands and I place one palm on top of the other. And just like we were doing earlier with our elbows when we were supporting our head, pull them away from each other. So instead of the elbows drawing in, peel them back. Okay, so see how that creates more space. Now, keeping that, whatever you chose to do with your arms, whether it be reverse prayer, grabbing opposite elbows, or palm to palm and peeling your elbows back, lift the sternum up. Exhale, come down halfway. So my halfway right now is about 75% because I can feel it in my legs already. I don't want to dump myself all the way to the ground, or I can hurt myself. And I might not be getting out of the pose what I want out of the pose. So don't feel like when I say go into pyramid pose that you need to come all the way down here to feel the benefits of the pose. For you, when you're sending your right hip back, left hip forward, you might come down 10% and already feel that in the hips and the hamstrings. So stay here. Breathe here. Who are you showing to the world what you can do, right? Keep squeezing the elbows back. Shoulder heads lifting. Keep sending the right hip back, left hip forward, wherever you are. Belly button into spine. We'll be here one more breath. Is this a little bit harder than if we were just to let our core go and fold forward? It might be. Beautiful. Inhale, send your torso up. Reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, release. Bending in that front knee as you take the left foot forward. Chair pose. You can stay here in chair, bringing your palms together, or you can reach your arms up overhead if you want to do a little bit more core work, or bring your hands back together at heart center, and then bend that left knee for Flamingo Pose. Squeezing the knees in together, balancing on that right foot. If you chose to come into Flamingo or not, let's close our eyes here for 3, 2, 1, awesome. Exhale, taking that left foot wherever it was, reaching it back behind you for a high lunge. As you inhale, send your arms up high. Exhale, hands come down to the ground. Step that right foot back. Inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. It's up to you. Exhale, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, down dog. 5 breaths here. Keep pushing the hips up a little bit higher. What happens if you close your eyes? Inhale, send that left leg up high. Exhale, knee to nose. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Maybe the right heel lifts off the ground. Keep your hips lifted as you draw your knee as close to your head as possible. Flick the foot forward. Allow it to land on the ground. Back knee comes down to the ground as you inhale, low lunge. Fill that out out for a breath. Exhale, tuck the toes, push the hips back and up into that forward fold. And we'll go into this 5 more times as you inhale forward. Exhale back. Keeping your eyes open for half of them and maybe closed for the other half. Each one safely opening up a little more space, letting our hips go a little deeper. All right, I think I got you guys back. Let me know if you see me again. All right, I'll wait another minute in the comments to see if I got you back again. Yeah, sorry, this is the internet for you. It looks like it's working. I don't know why my screen is insanely blurry, but at least you can hear me. Hopefully. Let me see. It says you are back. Cool. Great. So we were on chair pose and we were doing flamingo on the right side, right? And we're going to close our eyes here. So find yourself back in your chair or back in your flamingo with the right foot lifted. Really draw and squeeze that hamstring for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly that left or right leg goes back behind you for a high crescent lunge. As you inhale, send your arms up overhead. Pause and feel here. Hopefully our friends will join us. They're refreshing, probably like, what happened? Why YouTube? Why? Go a little bit deeper into the front knee. What happens if you close your eyes here? This is a pose that you feel really strong in usually with your eyes open. What happens if you close your eyes? All of a sudden, your ankles are moving a lot more, aren't they? Ground those feet. Yeah. Exhale, hands come down to the ground. The left leg goes back, high plank. Inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, or up dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, sending your right leg up high, stack the hips. We're gonna play with lifting that left heel. Left heel lifts off the ground. Lift the right leg a little higher in the air. As you exhale, lower the left heel. Right leg is still lifted. Inhale, lift the left heel. Exhale, lower. Try to find more space between the legs. One more time. Inhale. Right leg lifts a little higher. Yes. Exhale, bring that right foot on the outside of the right hand, preparing for dragon pose. Looks like a lot of us has come back to the games. Good to see you again. Sorry we lost our connection. Dragon pose here. We're gonna hold here for 3, 2, 1. Plant your hands, walk the left foot forward to meet the right. Malasana, low squat. Maybe get a little snack, crackle, and pop in there. And you can choose to stay here in your Malasana or inhale, push the ground away, sweep your arms up. Exhale, lower. We're doing a little bit of plies here. Inhale, lift. Get the heart rate going. Exhale, down. We're gonna do 8 more. Inhale. I can't see you though. Exhale. So if you only wanna do 2, that's okay as well. Inhale. And down, moving with your breath. Arms reach up. Maybe you close your eyes for these last 5. How are you doing? Almost done, 2 left. Last one, inhale, send your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, down and out. Inhale, halfway lift, our feet are still far apart, I know. Exhale, hands come back down. So we're gonna do this little thing where we're shifting our weight forward and backwards into our hands and our heels. Okay, so our legs are a little wider. So I don't want your feet super close together. This way your hamstrings don't need to be super, super open. And you can bend your knees if you want to. But we're just playing with transferring weight into our hands. So if you need to walk your feet a little further off your mat, go ahead. And lift your heels and lower them again. Hands come off the ground, and then the hands come back as you lift your heels and lower again. Let's do that one more time. And lift. A little pendulum swings. Try to get the hips high. Exhale. Beautiful. Jump yourself back. Chaturanga. Inhale. Exhale. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale, up dog. Exhale. And down. Beautiful. Left leg reaches up. Stack those hips. Find your breath. Inhale as you lift the right heel off the ground. Exhale, lower the heel, keep the leg lifted. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Last one, inhale, send that heel up. Left leg reaches up a little bit higher. You can do it. Yes. Exhale, bring that left foot on the outside of the left hand for dragon pose. Allow that right hip to sink, but keep the back knee lifted off the ground. And we're really working on extension in the back of the kneecap. We'll be here for 3. And 2. And 1. Rooting yourself in the front foot and hands as you bring that right foot forward into Malasana again. So this time we're going to play, I'm trying to move myself away from the mat a little bit, with floating ourselves forwards and backwards from downward facing dog into our low squat. So now we're in the front of our mat in our Malasana. Plant your hands, lift the heels. We're basically just doing that, right? Plant your hands, lift the heels, lift the hips, jump back. Okay? Downward facing dog. Bend the knees. Exhale. Slowly jump your feet on the outside of your hands. Malasana. Okay, we're going to do that a few times. Plant the hands, lift the hips, and jump back. See how high you can keep your hips lifted. Exhale, hips stay high. Slowly jump yourself forward. Low squat. Let's do one more. Plant the hands, shift the weight back. Beautiful. How light can you land? Can you land so quietly that I can't hear you? Oh, awesome. I didn't hear that. You guys did great. All right, push the ground away. Inhale, rise. Coming into a standing position. Hands to heart center. Eyes closed. Find your breath. Okay, we're going to come into tree pose so we can play with tree and how much we fixate our gaze versus our inner gaze on finding stability, okay? So for this tree pose, it might be in your best interest to keep your toes on the ground into more of a kickstand tree. I also really enjoy crossing my foot over and doing more of an external rotation by pushing my shin bones together. And that feels nice and stable in my hips. Otherwise, find your way into your tree pose. And whenever you're ready, allow your branches to grow. So we're going to do the first 30 seconds or so with our eyes opened. A steady gaze, a steady drishti. Now, if your arms are going to get tired, because we're going to be here for about a minute, at any point, you can change your branches to a different configuration. It can be however you need for right now, giving you different options. You can play with it. All right. So we've got about 10 more seconds with this steady gaze wherever you are. Try to bring your branches to somewhere you can hold now with your eyes closed for the next 30 seconds. And now play with closing your eyes. Maybe it's a soft close. Maybe it's a hard close. Notice how much that left foot is constantly moving to keep you stable. Push that right foot into the trunk of your left leg, drawing the knee away from an external rotation. Whoa. And if you fall, it's okay. Get back up. Come back to that inner steady gaze. 5 more breaths. It's amazing how much we use our eyes to help us. Beautiful. Exhale, release. Shake out the wrists, maybe wrist circles, because we did do a lot on our hands just a minute ago. And then close your eyes again. How'd that go? How are you feeling? How was that struggle? The struggle with the eyes open versus the struggles with the eyes closed. They're a little different. You struggle in different ways. Right foot is now your stability. Now you you might have an idea where you were just now, a minute ago, and how wobbly you were and how impossible it felt. So maybe this tree is a little more grounded. Maybe this tree you have both feet on the ground, because we can't control everything else going on, but we can control this. We can control our vessel. So you choose. Where do you want to be right now? Where is your story? Grow your branches. We're going to have 30 seconds. Remember, eyes open. We got about 20 seconds to go in this tree with our eyes open. And however you had your arms for your first tree, try to do so here as well. Really activate by pushing that sole of the foot into your leg. If I'm going to fall, what happens? I'm going to place my foot down. Okay? There we go. That feels better. Now I'm not going to fall. 10 more seconds. And then slowly open your eyes, letting the leg land. How's that feel? Now, if you notice, I have that internal dialogue that I allowed to be played out loud. My daughter disrupted me. I felt my energy shifting from my focus of my pose to that. And so to ground myself, I had to bring my feet back down to the ground. I had to reground myself. I had to feel my feet. So that's why it's super important to listen to that inner dialogue, that inner gaze when my eyes are closed, and it says, you know what? I'm actually feeling really unstable right now. I need to reground. So let's go down to the ground together. Taking yoga off the mat. Down to the ground. Coming into a little boat pose. Drawing our knees into our chest, giving ourselves a hug. This is another way to ground ourselves, besides feeling our feet on the ground, is giving ourselves a hug. Squeezing really tight. Really, really tight. Squeeze so tight. Feel that inner compassion. Okay, we're going to get a little softer with that compression. So I know we're squeezing our legs really, really, really tight right now, and that's awesome. And I want you to keep the compression in your core. So I want your knees to stay exactly where they are right now, okay? Do a hamstring curl. Get those feet a little bit closer to the booty. Keep squeezing, squeezing, squeeze everything so tight. And now let go with your arms. Is that still connected just as much? Reach your arms up towards the front of your mat. Keep squeezing those knees into your chest. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. This is amazing core compression work. And then we're going to come all the way into our hollow boat by reaching our legs long, keeping our head and shoulders lifted off the ground. Keep reaching your fingertips for your feet. And then you can come back into that tight little ball, squeezing the knees as much as you can into your chest and back into hollow boat again. Or you can come into a little regular boat, hollow boat version. Which one feels a little bit more engaged to you right now? Or more supple? I don't know what you need right now. You're ending the end of class, you got about 10 more minutes left. So you might need something a little more gentle or a little bit more heat building. If you need more heat building, go a little faster. I'm talking us through this, so I'm going as fast as I can so I can continue talking us through this. We're about halfway through to give you an idea. If you're over it, lay down on your back for a mini Shavasana. We're almost done. I think there's about 5 left in us, or maybe 10 if you're going super fast. Woo! A little rocking and rolling on those turbulent, uncertain waves. We don't know what's coming next. Sometimes a wave goes over us, and we come back for a breath again, and another wave knocks us down, and we come back up again, because we're going to keep coming up. Eventually the storm will pass, and eventually the water will settle, and we can rest as we all rest in a mini Shavasana. Now, if you're feeling really good, you can stay there for the next 10 minutes. Just close your laptop. I love you. I'll see you later. Otherwise, continue with me as we do more hip work, happy baby pose. Don't worry, we'll be back in Shavasana with you all. But I know there are some people who are like, you know what, I'm ready. I want that Shavasana. don't need more right now. Happy baby, start to roll to the left and to the right side. And then taking that left foot down to the ground, right foot still in your hand for a half happy baby pose. And then maybe, if you can, reconsider myself because you can see it, maybe that right knee can come down to the ground. And that left hip might lift off the ground. For that to happen, that's okay. Once the right knee is down to the ground, start to remind your left hip to gently lower. Now, it might only move a little bit. It might never make it to the ground. That's okay. And then start to extend that right leg long, a few inches. Maybe you're able to extend the leg all the way down to the ground. Don't worry if there's a bend in the knee though. You're still doing an awesome amount of hip work here. Okay, kick that leg up to the sky. Cross the knee over for figure four. Drawing your knee into your chest, give yourself a hug. Figure four hug. If you feel like you're not feeling this at all in your hip, take your hand to the inside edge of that right knee and push it up and away. Close your eyes here, starting to go inside. And be here about 10 more seconds. Where can you soften? Where can you relax? Allow your breath to get a little heavier, a little longer. Awesome. Left foot comes down to the ground. We're going to switch sides. Right foot comes down as your left leg comes into that half happy baby pose. And if you're able to get the left knee to the ground, cool. If it does come down, notice how much that right hip lifted off the ground. You know, because we're just tilting our pelvis really to get that left knee down. You could be honest with the pelvis and keep both sit bones down on the ground, but then you'll see your right knee might come off the ground and you pull down to the foot a little bit. You can do that. Or you can bring the knee down and then slowly act as though there's a weight on that right hip and it's pulling the pelvis a little bit wider, creating a little more space. My right knee is actually traveling away from my left to find that stability in the pelvis. Yeah. And then kick that left leg up high, crossing the ankle over the knee, figure four on your other side as you slowly draw the knee into your chest. Maybe your arms reach through the hole in between your legs and you give yourself a hug. Now if you have any knee pain here, go ahead and flex your feet. If you don't have knee pain, don't worry about it. If you're not feeling this at all, you can also go into pigeon pose. Although if you are pushing your hand into the inner knee, I bet you would feel it a little bit more. And really draw the knee into your chest. Just like we were doing in that boat pose when we were trying to draw our knees close to our chest, that core compression, you can do that here on the ground. Allowing your hips to open up a little safer. 5 more slow and steady breaths. Awesome. Letting your feet come down to the ground, maybe kicking your feet up to the sky and doing a little shaking here of the limbs, the arms, the legs, the feet, the fingers. Maybe the shaking gets a little more aggressive and it travels down your torso, your hips. Maybe your head starts to move. Just shake it out. Maybe you open up your mouth wide, stick your tongue out. Nose, tongue. You know, shake everything. Your eyes, the top of your head. Where have you not moved yet? Go there. And then exhale as you lower your hands and feet back down to the ground. Reach your arms out wide. Allow your knees to go to the left as you gaze with your eyes closed to the right. A little supine twist here. Allow your hips to move a little further away from the head. And then switch sides. Take your time. My 5-year-old is obviously having a heated debate right now. And then lift your knees back up. Give yourself one final hug. Release all your legs and limbs out long for your real Shavasana. It's not a Shavasana break this time. Puff your chest up and then allow your shoulder blades to remelt themselves back into the ground. Take a deep inhale, filling up the entire lungs. Inhale a little bit more, sip in a little bit more air. Hold here. And now slowly exhale halfway, and then hold. And halfway from that, and hold. And halfway from that, and hold. We could keep going forever right now. Inhale. Exhale. And allowing your breath to move naturally through your body. Softening the face. Allowing your jaw and your eyes to relax. Keeping the awareness on your breath. Allowing your vessel, your boat, to remain calm and still for the next minute, or longer if you choose. Starting to deepen your breath. Reaching your arms up overhead. Take a deep stretch. And exhale as you roll over to one side. Pushing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Hands come together, heart center, eyes closed. Steady Drishti. So even with your eyes closed, find something unmoving in there. And steady the gaze. When the thoughts come in and they start moving things around, find the stillness again. Hands come to forehead. Be light and shine. Hands come back to heart. Be light and love. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me on YouTube Live today. I know it was a little bit adventurous. Hopefully you were able to see me and hear me for 95% of the practice. I am welcome to any feedback or comments if you have. Find me on Facebook at Leslie Germain. I also have a YouTube Yoga with Leslie Germain. If you just put that into the search engine, you can find me. Yeah, and I would love to see you from being away from each other. Just find a way to connect with me, and I hope you're doing great. Thank you.